Nasha Niva is one of the oldest Belarusian weekly newspapers. Founded in 1906 and re-established in 1991, Nasha Niva became a cultural symbol due to the newspaper's importance as a publisher of Belarusian literature and as a pioneer of Belarusian language journalism. The years before the October Revolution are often referred to as the Nasha Niva period. In the period between 1906 and 1915, the newspaper was published on a weekly basis. From 1991 to 1995, it appeared once a month, reverting to weekly publication in 1996 and then fortnightly in the years 1997 to 1999. In 1999, the paper became a weekly again. Nasha Niva Online was set up in 1997. By 2017, it became the most frequently visited website in Belarusian language. According to Media IQ estimation, Nasha Niva remains free of state propaganda and keeps one of the highest ratings in journalism ethics among Belarusian media. Being in an open opposition to Alexander Lukashenko's regime, the newspaper was cracked down by the government numerous times, received huge fines and was excluded from state circulation. The editors and journalists were arrested, questioned and beaten by the police and KGB officers. As of 2020, the editor-in-chief is Johor Marcinovich, who succeeded Andrei Dainko. Nasha Niva was inspired by Iskra, a political newspaper, published by the RSDLP since 1901. At the BSA conference in June 1906, Belarusian journalist Anton Lekvich announced his intention to create a party newspaper. The co-founders were his brother Ivan and Alexander Ulasov, a landowner from the Mihakar estate near Minsk, who was for many years the newspaper's publisher and editor. The name for the publication was taken from a poem by Janka Lucina, Rodnaj Stavanci. The first issue was published on 23 November 1906, under the editorship of titular councillor Zygmunt Wolski. Since the fifth issue from 8 December 1906, the chief editor was Alexander Vlasov. In the first 3 years, the newspaper published 960 reports from 489 areas, 246 poems by 61 authors, and 91 articles by 36 special reporters. Only in 1910, Nasha Niva published 666 various correspondence from 427 people. Nasha Niva covered a wide range of political, economic, and cultural issues. Every issue included the following sections: government actions, political review, life of the countryside, life of the city, feuilletons, the newest literary works in Belarusian, correspondence, news from Russia and Lithuania, book digest, history notes, notes on agriculture, applied mechanics, personal ad. The newspaper saw as its main task the consolidation of a Belarusian political nation. It was also, as was observed at the time, the first source of information to be free of government interference. The editor's office also strived to preserve and promote Belarusian culture. National civil society rallied around the newspaper. Numerous agricultural initiatives, youth groups and publishing houses used it as a voice to promote their activities. In 1911, its circulation was about 3,000. Up to October 1912, the newspaper was printed both in Cyrillic and Latin scripts. From the 43 issue of 24 October 1912, the publication completely switched to the Cyrillic alphabet. A subscription for a year cost 5 rubles. The price for one issue was 5 koks. The newspaper's defense of national interests provoked attacks by the Russian censorship throughout its existence. Even a discussion on agrarian topics organized in 1907, including an article entitled "The Land Question in New Zealand," was found seditious and disrespectful of the government. The editor, Alexander Ulasov, was tried and imprisoned. On several occasions, the entire run of a particular issue was confiscated and the editors were compelled to pay fines. Subscribers and correspondents of the newspaper became central figures of national political and intellectual life, e.g. Siska Hartny, one of the first leaders of the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic, or Branislav Taraskiewicz, political leader in the Western Belarus and author of the first printed grammar of the Belarusian Language. One of the major figures behind the formulation of the newspaper's political goals was Ivan Lukich from Minsk, founder of the famous Belarusian Museum in Vilnius and sponsor of numerous political and cultural projects. Working alongside him was his brother, Anton Lukich, whose ideas were decisive in the formation of the program of the Belarusian Socialist Party. He would eventually become the Prime Minister of the Belarusian People's Republic. Vaclav Lastucci, another future Prime Minister of the Belarusian People's Republic, became secretary of the newspaper in 1909 and in the years 1912-1913 acted as its de facto editor. He was in charge of the historical agenda, which was one of the main topics in Nasha Niva. Janka Kupala, a famous poet, became the newspaper's editor in March 1914. The editor's office located on Wilenska Street, 14. Kupala continued in this role until